Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness. Okay, so get the little thing going there. There we go. Oh my gosh, always so fun to start the videos. So, okay, so this morning we're going to work with some pumpkins and squash and do a my favorite recipe for squash soup. So I roasted these yesterday. So I was saying earlier on, actually quite a few times, that it's really helpful if you, when you're cooking, to do two things at once if you can. So while I was putting together dinner last night, we're just going to put these guys in the Vitamix. While I was doing dinner last night, I put these in the oven at the same time, and then that way you save time. So, because you're doing many things at once, or a couple things at once at least, but you do have to watch, because I kind of did overdo them a bit, sort of lost track of time, and so these guys did get a little bit dried out, but the roasting, hey Kathy, good morning. The roasting really does add to the flavor. A lot of times what I'll do is I will, I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm just getting the squash out of the peel, which, you know, you can do it several different ways. This one here, now I'm not entirely sure what kind it is. It's like a, I'm not sure if that's a Hubbard squash or what, but anyway, so your squashes are, you know, they're all beneficial and super, super good for you. Crazy high in fiber, and then they all have, pretty much all of them have vitamin C. Yeah, they've got vitamin C, vitamin, I guess depending on the squash would have a little bit more vitamin A. Like the butternut definitely has more vitamin A and potassium and stuff, and so they are really, really good for you. So however you want to get the squash out of the peel, and sometimes I'll put the skin in as well if it's a really tender skin. So if I get a little bit of skin in there, I don't worry about it. The only reason I kind of don't want to so much with this one is that I really did over bake it. So, but I don't want to waste anything, so we're just going to gather all this stuff in here and get it right into that was actually a piece of the peel that I don't want in there. So much fun. Anyway, so you put it together. This one here is pumpkin, and oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of this little guy, but what I might do to speed the things up is just try and peel it like this. Like you guys want to sit here and watch me peeling a squash all morning. So I'm going to try and figure out a way, right? Because it is a little bit overdone. So for the pumpkins really have a lot of vitamin A. They have carotenoids, or, you know, like the lutein and stuff like that. Good for your eyes. The orange, right? So anything orange like that is good for your eyes because of the beta carotene. And you know what? I'm just going to stick this in here because this skin is pretty tender. So we're just going to go like this. And I can do that because I have a Vitamix. And my poor little Vitamix is so old. It's like 15 years old. And it's pretty awesome and amazing. So, but having said that, we don't want to get too full with it. Because otherwise it's just going to take forever to blend everything up. So these skins are pretty good. These are not too bad. We'll get that in there as I entertain you guys. So basically what I do with my squash soup And this one here's the pumpkin. And hey, Michelle. Nice to see you on here. We're just playing with pumpkins and squash today. So, yeah, so what I like to do with my squash soup is I like to add several different kinds of squash, and I think it just really, really brings out the flavor. You know, to me, the pumpkin doesn't really have a whole lot of flavor, so so I like to add other things to it. And the particular dark green squash there, the one that I don't really know exactly what it is, this one here, it's got a really dense meat, for lack of a better word, and so it's got a really strong, rich flavor, which is really awesome. And then you can add, like we added the acorn squash, which is really good. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to start blending a bit. I'm going to put a little bit of water in here just to get the help the blades out just a little bit. So we're going to start with this part, get the lid on, perfectly perfect, and okay, so I'm going to use the little thing here and just stick that down. I don't want to add too much water, but of course, you know, as usual, when I do these things, I don't cut them up small enough. We have so much fun with my Vitamix. We're always like really pushing the limits. And so I do seem to never ever cut things up small enough. I just figure this thing can do anything. And it can, but sometimes it takes a little while. But it really is quite, it is the most awesome machine. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Well, obviously I need more water than I thought. Hey, Darlene, nice to see you. Oh, you know what? This new squash that I'm using, the meat for, you know, I don't know what to call it. The insides are so thick that this is taking much more water than what I had thought it would. So, and the other thing, like I am going to add coconut milk to this because we used coconut milk in the recipe yesterday. And so I have some left when we made the, what did we make with coconut milk yesterday? We made, oh, the avocado chocolate chip mint nice cream we made yesterday. It turned out really awesome. It did, you know, I mean, I love avocado, so I'm fine with it, but it did kind of taste a little bit of avocado. You could still taste it through the mint, but it was really awesome with the mint and the chocolate chips. So, yeah, it turned out really good. Okay, so that's perfect right there. Like I say, I do, if the skins are, if they're soft, I do like to add them because, you know, each part of every fruit will be, you know, will have benefits, right? So, like the carrot tops, you can stick the carrot tops in your soup and it has a different nutritional value than the actual carrots. So, see, yeah, it's nice and thick and blended beautifully with this. I'll have to find out what this squash is called. So these squashes actually came, or squashes, actually came from Kirsty Ellen at the Old Orchard Farm here in Port Alberni. And I know, I'm so funny. I make the mistake so you guys don't have to. And you know what? I don't really, I do not, I don't go for perfection because there is no such thing, especially in my life. We just do things, have fun, make some healthy recipes, experiment. I love to experiment. It's so much fun to try out a recipe and go like, hey, you know, if everybody's afraid to try it, I'll try it, and then we'll know, or maybe we won't. So, or we'll know what not to do anyway through my mistakes. Anyways, back to the squash. So, Old Orchard Farm. here in Port Alberni, they have the most amazing squash. And that is where I got these. And they have like this pumpkin here is, they're young pumpkins. They're very young pumpkins. I suppose all pumpkins are young right now, but they're a little bit smaller and they're quite dense. So it's an awesome place to get your pumpkins where you're going to get a lot of pumpkin for the size, you know. Like I'll cut these up smaller this time for you guys, so it's not so painful for you to watch me. But the pumpkins are very dense inside, with a lot of meat, and so you get a lot out of it. So when you buy those smaller pumpkins, like sometimes I've bought the bigger pumpkins and they're like, you know, just like a couple inches maybe of skin or even less, and then there's a great big huge cavity, which I do love the pumpkin seeds. I do. And but this little pumpkin that I got from Old Orchard Farms, and I got the squash there too, it was as I figure out how to peel this pumpkin, I don't want to lose any of the goodness, but I don't want any of the tough peel either. Anyways, back to Old Orchard Farms. They have all kinds of different squash, and yeah, and so that is really good. And I think that they also have a fair amount of Brussels sprouts left, and I know they are working on their cabbages. So anyway, that's a good place to go, and you can also find them at Spirit Square, which is the farmers market on Saturdays. Wow, it's Friday already. It's gonna be Saturday tomorrow. Sasha, oh my gosh, hi. Oh, good. I love it. It's been so funny, this Facebook Live thing. You know, like I do have about 150 or 200 more professional videos on my YouTube channel where I have 15-minute meals, and I actually do give recipes and kind of, you know, measurements and things like that, like almost professional. And this Facebook Live came about because of the whole COVID thing and everybody having to stay home and, you know, people wanting to visit. And so we started doing this visiting thing where I just do what I do for, you know, cooking and preparing herbs and making tinctures and medicines and formulas. And everybody wanted to hang out and watch me do it. So this became, and oh my God, I mean, most of the time it's embarrassing, but it's so much fun. So, and you learn a lot. So we do learn a lot. We learned, okay, students, we learned that pumpkins have vitamin A, they have potassium, they have magnesium. Obviously, they have a ton of fiber. Super good for you. The pumpkins themselves have beta carotene, and you know, good for your eyes, like anything orange, of course, right? Good for your eyes, has the lutein, although there are a lot of other things that are really good for your eyes too, like wolfberries, which I call them wolfberries because I'm so old. Wolfberries, we called them that 25 years ago or more, but they're wolfberries was the original name, or I don't know if it was original, but that's what we used to call them, goji berries. So now they're known in the health food store as goji berries, and they're just so good for your eyes, good for your liver, you know, antioxidant, amazing. Goji berries are amazing. So that's another one that's specifically good for your eyes. But did you know that red cabbage or purple cabbage is also as antioxidant as goji berries, has almost the same medicinal components. Oh my God, the word escapes me. Anyway, so if you can't afford goji berries, get some what did I say, purple cabbage. Yeah, it's super, super good for you. So we did a raw sauerkraut video. Oh my gosh, I forgot to take the phone off the hook, the other phone. That's okay, we're good. Just ignore that. Like, that's gonna be easy to do. Okay, I'll run the blender at the same time. Oh yeah, good idea. And then that way we won't hear it. Okay, let's do this. That's the nice thing about live. You never know what's going to happen. And it's life. Okay, just going to turn that down, give this a little push. We're making such a huge mess here, and I have another recipe to share with you. And yeah, so we might have to turn the cutting board over. I have such a tiny little workspace here, but it works for what we're doing. Okay, so oh my God, and there goes the other phone. That was like the third phone call. That's okay. We are busy. I'm busy with you guys, and it's way too much fun. So we're just going to ignore whoever it is that's so desperate to get a hold of me, because I'm sure they can wait another 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so this is quite thick, as you can see. And oh my God, you gotta love life. You just can't control it. You can't control life. And there's no point in, you know, getting all stressed out about it, because there are many more other things that people tend to be worrying about right now. And I had a cute little video that I put on my Facebook. And it was Pluto. You know, you guys know Pluto, the little schnauzer dog that's so famous now since the COVID. And it's a really cute video on worrying. And I can't remember what the actual statement was, but you'll have to check it out. I put it on my video, but it's super easy to find Pluto on Facebook anywhere. It's a really cute little inspirational encouragement you know, little videos that Pluto, words of advice. And so it's pretty cute. Anyways, okay, so obviously this is looking more like pumpkin pie than soup, but we are going to add the coconut to it. So yesterday we did the, yeah, I know, really wants to talk to me. Somebody really wants to talk to me. And I can barely read that, but I think I read what it is. So yesterday we did coconut milk and avocado, and then we added peppermint extract and chocolate chips. I made a chocolate chip mint nice cream, which was awesome. So so I was explaining about this particular coconut milk is very it's very well blended. The one that I used yesterday, the one that I usually use is like a Thailand one, and it's really super thick. Like the whole thing is almost like just coconut fat or coconut milk or cream, I mean, and it's super thick. And then most of the ones that you buy, I have found that they're like half coconut cream on the top and then the liquid on the bottom. This particular brand is very mixed. So if you're looking for something that's consistent and mixed all the way through, this is a pretty good brand. So I hadn't bought it before, and it's organic Everland. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you guys are all backwards. I'm backwards. I'm doing the selfie thing. So we're just going to put this in like this. And so typically what I should have done, except I got super distracted by the phone ringing so much, is you would add the coconut milk to the blender with the water. But actually this looks pretty cool too. So we're not going to worry about that too much. We're just going to blend it all in. So to this, it's actually nice to have the, I'm having so much fun. Where's my thing? My other thing. Here it is. What's nice to have added to this is a little bit of the green peel, because the peel from the squash, because it adds color, right? So it's always nice to have some color and some, you know, some prettiness to your food. Like you could add That's why a lot of people will add, well, it's not why, it's also because of the spice, but people add parsley and things like that. So I do like to really make sure there's color in it when you can do that. So there's the, I think you guys can see that okay. Anyways, I am going to add more water to it, but secret recipe. What we can do here, which is really, really beneficial, so we have water, we have the squash, and we've added coconut milk. We can make this an immune system boosting soup. So we can add a herbal tea. So this is my herbal tea teapot. It has, as you can see, the big strainer in the middle. And what I do is I brew this every day, and I add a different combination. Sometimes it can be my my vitality tea that I make myself and I sell, and that's like an immune enhancing tea with all kinds of immune system herbs and things like that. Has all kinds of things like astragalus, ashwagandha, ginkgo, lemon balm, lemongrass, cleavers, and things like that. So that is something that you can add to this. Or what I do have here that I was going to tell you about, and I'm just going to add some. So this, my particular tea also is very handy that there is not a lot of strong flavor. So you can add this tea to soup. Now the other thing that you can do is you can, so this really increases the medicine value, you know, the immune system value of the soup. The other thing you can do, which I wanted to show you guys, was, oh, where did I put it? Oh, I put them somewhere, is I make a medicinal tea with the medicinal mushrooms as well. And so this particular one has this added. So this is a reishi, which is a Ganoderma. It is our West Coast species of Ganoderma. There's a few different kinds. There's an Oregonum. There's a Oregonum apellanum. Anyway, the Ganoderma species, and it's like the, if you're familiar with the artist conch. These grow everywhere around here, and you really, you know, when you're gathering anything in the wild, always have a lot of respect for the plant, and to not, you know, like if there's hardly anything there, don't take it all. Just, and kind of feel into it, right? Breathe into it and ask if it wants to come with you. And so if you take one of these and they're usually stuck to a log that's decaying or something like that. And so if you take it and you press on it and it wants to come with you, it will break off easily. If it doesn't want to come with you and it's hard to break off, then just leave it. It needs to be there. But these guys here, they're the fruit of the mushroom, basically, the fungus. They're the fruit. So because the actual body is underneath, like for most mushrooms, under the ground. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. You can talk to a mushroom expert on that. Anyway, these are very good for the immune system. Ganoderma is otherwise known as reishi mushroom, which a lot of you are familiar with, which is super good for the immune system. It's been used for hundreds of years for like an anti-cancer, just so many health benefits with the reishi mushroom. So this is a piece of it, and so this was in my tea. And the other thing that you can use, which I absolutely adore, if you can see this very well, maybe I'll pull off this piece just so you can see it a little bit better. These are turkey tails, and they also grow, I don't want to get squash on my mushrooms. They also grow in the wild, usually I think on like a dead alder. And you can kind of see that the little, well, it's not really a good sample. It's white on the inside, and then it looks like a little turkey tail. If you can kind of see the little turkey tail, you know, rings on the turkey tail. These guys have been studied extensively for HIV, for viruses, like heavy duty for viruses. Turkey tails are amazing. So I just take a little tiny piece of this and put this in my tea as well. So, and you can gather these, the same thing, you know, with respect. If they want to come with you, they will. And if they are hesitant, then they need to stay where they are. So you can use those two. And the other thing I had here, which unfortunately doesn't grow that I know of on the West Coast, is chaga. It's a, it looks like a piece of, well, looks like a chunk of bark, sort of, but really concentrated, like You know, it's like almost like sawdust all put together here. So what do they call that? That board that my cupboards are made out of. That chipboard. Anyway, it kind of looks like that. It's called chaga, C-H-A-G-A, and it grows usually back east. And this one also is super, super amazing for the immune system. So you just, same thing, just take off a little piece of this. You have to kind of pretty much do this with a hammer because it's quite hard. And put that in your tea. So you can take your whatever it is that you're making. Like I have a lot of immune system soups on my YouTube channel. And so you can take whatever you're making and you can create it to be like super uber healthy, and so that it turns into a superfood. So it's really, really nice to be able to do that. And so I encourage you to, you know, learn about those things and get a little bit more, you know, like make that extra. It doesn't take much to make that extra effort. You know, if you put purple cabbage in, then into your soup or into whatever it is that you're making, then you're getting all of those antioxidants and all of the benefits, you know, or goji berries if you want to put goji berries in. You know, for the next recipe that we're going to do, if I can find a place to put this where you guys can see what's going on, I think I can work over that. So if you, oh hey, I have an idea. I'm going to put this in here. Oh wow, where's my weightlifting where's my weightlifting arms? All right, no, let's not. Okay, I was gonna, we've done that before. we have poured things into things, and yeah, no, probably not a plan right now. We're gonna go back to my first plan. Okay, so here's the next recipe. Oh my god, because I probably don't need to be pouring pumpkin soup all over me right now. Even though the dog loves pumpkins, and they're super good for your dogs too. If you have a any kind of digestive issues or actually intestinal issues with your dog, you can do a give them, like a lot of times they say canned pumpkin. That's what I'm looking for. And you know what else? I just got so distracted by that. Actually, I usually start my meals with just water in whatever dish I'm using. I don't use a lot of oil. So I am going to use my tea instead of water here. And just to add additional benefits to the next dish, which are these beautiful portobellos that I've just brushed off. And oh yeah, back to the pumpkin. I was going to tell you guys the important thing. It's not really that important, but it kind of could be. I heard that you can't get canned pumpkin, that it's like off the shelves, like toilet paper. And I don't understand why that would be. I mean, unless it was just a pre-Thanksgiving thing, but apparently I heard this through the States, that it was in the States. So I'm not really sure about Canada, but it was a friend of mine in the States. And so I don't know if it was just a big run on everybody trying to get pumpkins for Thanksgiving, but their Thanksgiving isn't until the end of November. So I don't know what's going on with canned pumpkin, but yeah, weird things happening. And the other thing that is that's kind of strange, oh, I mean, it's not strange, but another thing, it's just another thing. We're so used to all these things now, is getting canning lids. For canning is still kind of hit and miss. I know I couldn't find any in the middle of summer, and then I finally found some, and now I heard that they're out again. So yeah, so stock up on whatever it is that you need. I mean, don't buy it all, but get, you know, if there's something you really love, make sure you've got a little bit of it. You know, buy some extra whenever you go shopping. Buy a little bit extra. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to make like a sesame ginger portobellos. Oh my god, losing my mind here with the portobellos. Okay, and the portobellos are also very anti-inflammatory as well. And And so what we're going to do here, really simply get these going a bit. I'm not going to cook them too much because that's the fun thing about this Facebook Live. I am pretty much preparing our lunch and dinner, so I don't want it completely cooked because I just want it enough to where I can heat it up before dinner time so I can do all kinds of things during the day and have dinner ready. One of the things I just realized that I forgot to put in here, I didn't do a lot of seasoning in here, and I got so distracted by the phone and everything that I forgot half of this recipe. Anyway, you can use some veggie broth if you want. This happens to be an Epicure product, which I'm pretty liking. You know, they don't add salt to their products, so if you are having a salt issue, that's handy to know. And I don't sell Epicure or anything. I have friends that do, but I'm sure you have friends that do too. But they don't add salt, so we're going to add salt, which I completely neglected to finish this, but that's okay because everything is meant to be. While we wait for the mushrooms to cook, we're going to do the rest of the soup. So we're going to add some of the Celtic sea salt, and the Celtic sea salt is more of a mineral-based salt, so it's not as salty. Like your Himalayan sea salt will be saltier, and your regular other sea salts will be too. And I just forgot this thing real quick. I'm going to grab that. Okay, so I am going to just to show you that the Celtic sea salt is actually looks like sand. So it's very, very much like a mineral, whereas your Himalayan salt is going to be pink and it has a saltier flavor. So I'll add a little of that as well, and just to get different minerals, right? So when you're cooking anything, you always want to add something different. You don't want to do, even taking supplements, the same supplement day after day after day. Your body gets used to that, and I'll turn this up a bit, and so like different greens, you know, using Swiss chard one day and spinach the next day and then kale the next day, and you know, if you do the same vegetables all the time, which we do tend to do anyways, right? You know, pretty much everybody is like potatoes and carrots and cauliflower and broccoli and you know, maybe cabbage, and so your body gets used to those same minerals coming from the same plants or vegetables, and so it's really good to introduce something that's different in a different form. Like your parsley is going to have different minerals because, or at least it will have different minerals to assimilate because of how it grows and how it grabs minerals out of the ground. And it also depends on the ground it's grown in. You know, most of our vegetables are grown in the same, you know, even if they rotate crops, or they're grown on the same farm over and over and over again. And even though they add things to compensate for that, to actually incorporate something that's from somewhere else that works and gathers different minerals is so important to your body, to have brand new tools that are available to your cells in a completely different uptake, basically. So yeah, so where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I'm seasoning the squash soup. Okay, cayenne, really good for your circulation. It's really good for your cholesterol, your blood pressure, good for your heart. Cayenne is good for everything. It assists in circulation through your whole body. And the most important thing that I almost forgot was ginger. And if you want to, like, ginger is also a circulatory herb, super good for you. And today's such a funny energy. I got so distracted. I was going to start by sauteing real ginger, but anyway, that didn't happen, and that's okay because life interrupts us. Here's a little bit of, I'll use some of the granulated garlic. So this is just a pure granulated garlic with no salt. It's not garlic salt. I don't like using garlic salt because to me it tastes more like regular salt than garlic, and I don't like using regular salt anyways. So if you want to, and I will add a little bit because it's so beneficial, has the B vitamins, has all kinds of health benefits, is the nutritional yeast, also called nooch. And so this will give, I don't want too much, but it will give a cheesy flavor. So it's so beneficial. Oh my gosh, it has the B6. Like a lot of people that don't eat meat will use the nutritional yeast for the B vitamins, and they say it has B12, but it actually doesn't naturally have B12. It's usually fortified with B12 because it's really important for people that aren't eating meat or that for vegans to get their B12. But it does have other B vitamins and some protein and stuff like that. So the nutritional yeast is really beneficial and it has a super amazing cheesy taste. So with the portobellos, what we're going to do now that it's finally warming up, it's been taking forever, we're going to add a little bit of sesame oil because we're making a sesame ginger portobello. I don't know why it just falls out of my head. Okay, so just a few drops because the sesame oil is quite strong. So I'm going to say, I don't know, that was probably what, 6 drops or something like that. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. So we have the Bragg's liquid soy. It used to be called Bragg's liquid aminos, and I don't remember what happened to the actual original formula. But it was like a fermented soy sauce. So that is still, to the best of my knowledge, is still a better choice than regular soy sauce. Although I do like to use tamari too, which is also a way better choice for the soy sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the ginger again here. So we've got ginger happening twice. And I'm just going to add a little bit of ginger. And that reminds me, you should never shake your seasonings over your steam because it will ruin your make your beautiful spices and things kind of stick. So the other thing we're going to do here, just looking for the thing to do it with. Okay, so we have this here with the sesame ginger. We're going to use, and I did accidentally get a little bit of pumpkin everywhere here. So, but anyway, this is a clean on the inside measuring cup. And we're going to add a little bit of tapioca starch. So I like to use tapioca starch rather than cornstarch because we get so much corn in our diets. Like there's corn in practically everything. And so, and I love tortilla chips and my corn snacks and popcorn and that kind of thing. So I try to bring it down, right? Because it seems like we're all getting way too much corn in our diet. So when I can avoid it, I do. And then I get to enjoy it in a healthier manner, right? Because I'm not just getting an overabundance of it. So we're going to go back to the tea here. This is the immune system tea with all the beautiful mushrooms. When you're adding, maybe I'll add a little bit more. When you're adding either cornstarch or tapioca or whatever it is that you're using, of course, when you're making a roux, you have to use cold water. You guys know that already. And I forgot to say hi to Jane and Darlene and Monique and everybody. Hi, good morning. We're having a party here. Okay, so we just mix this together and going to pour that in just to thicken that up a little bit. And yeah, for our teriyaki mushrooms. So I am going to shut that off because I don't want it too overdone. So in my little tiny workspace here, I need a big kitchen like Michelle's. Okay, so there we go. We're just going to get that sauce happening. And I do have a few, oops, where is it? Where are they? There they are. A few of the sesame seeds as well. So this is going to make like a nice sesame ginger And of course, do it to taste, right? If you want to add more sesame seed oil, you can do that. If you want to add more sesame seeds. So this is going to be, yeah, sesame, ginger, portobellos, and you can, of course, and should do everything to taste. Like I on this Facebook Live, I really don't do very well with measurements and all that kind of thing. So I am currently looking for someone who wants to write down the amounts of everything I do and all the ingredients. Or you can just watch the video. And but it's pretty easy. Like I said, we're just here to have fun and experiment and play with healthy foods. And so if you you know, if you want to put your comments below with other ideas and other things that you want to have me experiment with, and other things about healthy cooking, comments, health tips, that kind of thing. Yesterday we made these beautiful slippery elm throat lozenges that you can do. All you need is a little bit of slippery elm and some honey, or if you don't want to do honey, you could do maple syrup, although the honey of course has the beneficial antibiotic, or antibacterial, antiviral properties, and also it preserves it really well. So these are slippery elm with cinnamon and really nice throat lozenges for if you have a sore throat. Make sure you have all these kinds of things around. Sore throat things, vitamin C, zinc, all those things, you know, because the winter is kind of coming. And so you want to make sure that you have everything that you need to make you happy and healthy. So anyway, that's the end of that. I'm turning this off. You can see that this is looking like super delicious. Hopefully it will hang around until dinner time. And there's lunch. And so it's Friday. We'll see you guys on Monday at 11. And thank you for hanging out. Check out my Instagram and my YouTube channel, and share and subscribe. Okay, see you Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.